Hey, welcome everyone to this week's video. My name is Frank Menard, and I am here today to talk about the six ghosts of fear. Now, I've covered this topic before, but one of the reasons I'm going to recover it this week is simply because it's the end of November, and a lot of us are thinking about what are we going to do for 2025? Start putting together our goals, our plans, our initiatives. What is it that we want to accomplish by the end of the next year? And unfortunately, for a lot of us, there are certain fears that Napoleon Hill talks about in his book, Think and Grow Rich, that affect our ability, not necessarily to make the decision, but to be able to complete and follow through with that burning desire to until the point where we can actually accomplish what we said we wanted to accomplish. So I'm going to actually, I gave this presentation this morning at my Toastmasters meeting. I expanded it on a little bit of it for today's video. So I'm going to share my screen and see if we can go ahead and go through this and give you some help on being able to achieve your goals for 2025. So here we go. The six ghosts of fear, inspired by Napoleon Hill and the Napoleon Hill Institute. One of the biggest things that affects our ability to block out the fear is the fact that we are indecisive. So indecision and doubt. We can't make a decision of what we really want, what we truly want in our lives. And even when we do, we oftentimes doubt our abilities to be able to achieve it. So what I'd like you to do is as we go through the slides and we start identifying each one of the six ghosts of fear, I want you to take a notepad off to the side, just kind of write down the notes off. What are the fears that affect you the most? I mean, I think once we're presented with them, we know what's stopping us from moving forward. I think it's going to become really clear as we walk through. So let's go ahead and begin. So the first ghost of fear is the fear of poverty. Now, the fear of poverty is actually considered the most common fear that leads to anxiety and financial insecurity. It's all about our relationship, our mindset about money. First, we have to decide to live within our means. So if we are not earning the money that we want to live right now, we should not act like we are making a lot of money. So not buying a lot of stuff on credit, not putting ourselves out there and just purchasing stuff that we don't need. I mean, are we focusing on our financial education? Because see, the fear of poverty prevents us as individuals from pursuing the dreams due to the risk of failure. So what goes on in our mind when we're worried about money is what happens if I fail? And oftentimes that question alone is enough for us to stop. I can't take the risk. If I lose this investment money that I'm going to put out there to embark on a new journey or a new career, I'm done. I won't be able to survive it. Well, the truth of the matter is there is plenty of money out there. Oftentimes we just need to find it, find ways to bring it in, maybe work a second job so that you can build your savings. And by building your savings, you actually start to create a fund that can fund any opportunity that comes your way. So encourage yourself to develop a positive mental attitude about money, change your mindset. Money's good. Money allows us to not only live a better life, but it allows us to help other people, right? And finding ways to become smarter and more financially secure through getting better education on not only how to make money, but how to deal with it once you got it. Foundational rule that I was taught very young in my life was save 10% of everything you earn. So the minute you get that paycheck, take 10%, put that right in the bank. That's your savings account. That's your fund that you're building to be able to take advantage of future opportunities, right? So you can overcome the fear of poverty. You just have to figure out how, get educated, and make it happen. Second fear, the fear of criticism. I struggle with this one oftentimes. And basically, it's the fear of being judged or ridiculed by others. So if I'm being completely authentic, when I made a move at the age of 68 to join the Napoleon Hill Institute, it required an investment of my money to embark on making my business coaching career stronger and better based on the foundational principles of Napoleon Hill. I worried about what people were going to think. What is Frank doing now? He's too old to be doing this. Why is he doing that? And I was worried about how people were going to judge me. But fortunately, because of my study of the materials and understanding that what other people think about what I'm doing has nothing to do with me, it's none of my business. So we need to take a look at self-introspect. Let's look at yourself. What do you expect to get out of life? Because if you let fear of criticism take over, you're going to stifle your own creativity and innovation. We can't let that happen. We need to make sure that we listen to our gut, listen to what our own subconscious mind is telling us, what the universal law is telling us. What's the universe talking to us? What's it saying to us? What should we be doing with our life? It's guiding us. So it's important to focus on your self-acceptance, have have confidence in your ability to make good decisions, have your ability to focus on your personal goals rather than the external opinions of other people. Just remember, what other people think about what you're doing is none of your business. Just move forward. If it looks like the right move for you, take action. Right? So don't worry about the fear of criticism. You can control that as well. How about fear of ill health? A lot of folks out there have anxiety surrounding poor health or the fear of illness. Those of us in the United States, actually many parts of the world, we were suffering from the pandemic, the COVID virus, and people were walking around with masks and gloves and hoods and everything else because they were afraid of getting sick. Now, look, I think taking precautions is a very important thing to do, but we need to focus on not being sick, not focus on being sick, right? So because the fear can lead to you to have a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm reflecting back, I guess it was middle of last year, I was diagnosed with vocal cord cancer. And I remember the physician's assistant sitting me down and saying, hey, Frank, you're pretty active, but you're going to have to go through 6 weeks of radiation, 5 days a week, 6 days for 6 weeks. And you're going to lose some of the energy. You're not going to be able to do the things that you have been doing at the level that you've been doing it. I made a conscious decision that day that I was not going to slow down on my activities. I was going to continue to do everything I could to maintain the activities that I was doing on a daily basis, lifting weights, going out for runs. And you know what? I was able to. My mindset allowed me to go out. Did I feel tired sometimes? I sure did, but I still went out there and did it. Don't, and by the way, the physician's assistant was shocked that I was able to maintain it all through the 6 weeks. The only thing that I had impacted on me was I had a little scar on my throat where the radiation was going, right? So the mind is a powerful thing. We should let our mind use our mind to control what's going to affect us and what's not going to affect us. We do have control. Having a good mindset about the fear of ill health, you can promote a healthy lifestyle. Do the right things. Don't expose yourself to bad habits, drinking too much alcohol, eating too much sugary food, that kind of stuff. All of those things have an impact on our health. Don't worry about getting sick. Concentrate on what you can do so that you don't get sick. Next fear. The fear of loss of love. So this is a fear of losing the affection of loved ones or perhaps being alone. Someone passes away, husband and wife, living together for 45, 50, 60 years, and then all of a sudden one of them passes away. That's truly a fear oftentimes. But this fear also affects us in different ways because it can lead to a dependency. So one individual in the relationship can become very dependent on the other, thereby causing them to compromise their values and staying in a toxic relationship longer than they should, right? So the best way to avoid the fear of loss of love is to encourage building healthy relationships. And those healthy relationships should be based on mutual respect and understanding, right? So we have control over those things. We have control how we treat other people, the people in our lives, the people that are most important to us. So focus on building a healthy relationship based on mutual respect and understanding. That will help you avoid the fear of loss of love. Fear of old age. Concern about aging and the loss of vitality and relevance. I know this one. So this past year, I embarked on a mission to run my sixth marathon, and at the age of 68, just a few months shy of 69. So I went into training, and guess what? I'm 68 years old. Training for a marathon was challenging for me. And in order to run the marathon I wanted to run, I had to be able to run each mile over 26 miles at a pace that was faster than I was personally capable of doing. Initially, that had a negative effect on me. I didn't like the fact that I was getting older. But here's what I did. I looked at the sunny side. I trained for 10 months. I earned $1,000 or so for a charity to help veterans. I lost 25 pounds. So there were a lot of good things that happened as a result of me committing to train for the marathon. Sure, I was disappointed 2 days before the marathon when I had to realize I was not going to be able to complete it at the time required. So I backed off. However, I did start a habit of running again, which I used to do all the time and had drifted away from, and I'm still doing it today. I'm just realizing I can still do it, just maybe not at the same level that I used to. So a fear of old age can lead to your reluctance to do things, to embrace new experiences or new opportunities. I know a lot of folks, I'm sure many of you do as well, where they're our age, maybe a little bit younger, maybe a little bit older, and they've just stopped living because they're too old. No, you get control over that too. Stay committed to living the best life you can live physically, doing the things you can. If you can't run, walk. If you can't go lift weights at a high level like I used to, fine. Get a set of dumbbells and do it in a different way. You can still stay active. And if you keep the machine moving, you will stay young. So focus on lifelong learning as well as adapting to change. Just make a few tweaks so that you can still satisfy what you need to do to feel young, being young at heart and at body because you're keeping it moving. And last but not least, we've got the fear of death. The ultimate fear that encompasses the fear of the unknown. You know what? I've got a news flash for everybody, and I don't mean to be crude, but we're all going to die. There's nothing at all that we can do about it. In fact, we have no control over when that's going to be. I mean, we can do things to stay healthy and to live longer, but we could walk out on the street right now and get hit by a car and bam, it's over. Realize that the fear of death is a waste of energy because you can't stop it. It's going to happen. In fact, the fear of death can paralyze individuals, preventing them from living their life fully. I know so many people. I'll be honest. My mom and dad, when they were young, they lived a very happy, uh, very the word I want, very energetic life. They did things, they traveled, they had fun. And then as they got older, they started to get really worried about dying. In fact, my dad kind of felt like he wasn't important. He said to me one day, he says, when you get old, you become invisible. The truth is, you become invisible when you stop engaging and stop interacting because you're afraid of dying. Highlight the importance of living in the present. Live every moment like it's the last moment you've got. Make the best of every single moment that we have. Don't let the fear of death stop you from having a good life right until the end. So this week, I want to wrap up with some action steps. The 6 ghosts of fear it's real. It's something that we all need to be aware of, and we need to look at ways that we can avoid its impact on us and our ability to achieve the things that we want to achieve. This time of year, I spend a lot of time with my coaching clients talking about their goals. And when I'm talking about goals, you see on the screen 7 different areas. So you got personal, professional, relationships, physical, health, mental, spiritual, financial. I'm asking each of you, after you watch this video, Thanksgiving weekend's coming up, so we get a little bit extra time to reflect and plan. Look at these 7 areas of life, 7 circles of life, and identify the 3 that you feel are most important for you to change. What are the 3 that are most important for you to change? Write them down on a pad of paper. Then I want you to go identify well, I just said this, identify the 3 that you want to change. So list them in order of priority, right? So what's the most important thing that you could do to change or have an effect on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And then number two, and then number three. So identifying the order of priority. I found it interesting. Someone told me one time, I guess the word priorities, the plural, didn't really exist until the 20th century. Prior to that, the word was priority. What's the one thing I can focus on to have the biggest impact on my life? Right? So look at it from that sense. Then I want you to focus on what is most important. Of the three, which is the one that deserves the most attention? Now, you can do this whole process for our life to identify what the goals are that we want to try to achieve. You can do it for a specific portion of your life, such as your business or for your physical activities, identifying the things that need the most attention. I think a lot of us fail to do that, which makes it hard for us to decide what it is that we want to do, what our definite purpose is for this year. It's just this year, right? So this process, look at the full circle, all 7 circles, identify the top 3, then put them in order. And last but not least, ask yourself, what is the most important? Once you've done that, you need to create an action plan. I call it daily strategies, daily, weekly strategies. In order to achieve the goal that you said that was the most important thing for you to achieve this year, what are the things that you need to do daily? So for me, I'm still watching my weight. Yes, I lost 25 pounds, but guess what? I put about 4 or 5 of them back on. I went back to some old habits. I liked red wine, so I drink a little bit too much red wine, sometimes almost every day. That's a problem. So I've started a 66-day challenge today, removing alcohol consumption completely from my daily routine until I get to the goal that I want to achieve. Actually, I've committed to 2 months with no alcohol so I can get back in the physical shape that I want to be in. What do you need to change? Right? What do you want to change? What are you observing that's giving you heartache every single day that you need to take some action on? And then identify the things that you need to do. Maybe it's reading a good book for 30 minutes a day to have a personal growth plan. Maybe it's going out for a walk 3 to 4 times a week just to make sure that you're keeping the body moving. Maybe it's saving that 10, 15, 20% of your paycheck and putting it into account so you can avoid the fear of poverty. What's your goal and what's your plan? This is the part where most of us fail in our desire to achieve our goals. We don't create a plan. Maybe we did, but we didn't stick to it. And that's where burning desire comes into play. You can avoid all the fears. You can achieve whatever it is that you want because whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, he or she can achieve. I want to thank you so much for watching the video today. I would love to see your comments in the comment section down below. But what I really want you to do is live your best life today and do that every day, one day at a time. Thank you so much for your time today. And by the way, if you'd be interested in finding out how you could get involved in maybe some coaching to help you through this process, sometimes it's very helpful to get some outside input from a certified global coach. Just reach out to me. There'll be a link below in the description. You can reach out and we'll make an arrangement to get together and talk and share how we might be able to get into a coaching relationship, or maybe just some programs that you can look into to purchase to help you along the way, and as a mentor, such as a mentorship program or something like that. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, if I gave you some good value, please take the time to give me a like, maybe share it with a friend. And please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Last but not least, I hope you all, especially all of you in the United States, enjoy a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Be safe, enjoy, and have a great life. Thank you so much for your time today, guys. I appreciate you.